Hey, what's up and hello? This is the Chris Nicole giving you my views on life, love, and the world of entertainment through my eyes. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on what time you are watching this live. Hello, crew. Hope all is well. Let me see who is in the chat. Let me check it out. Let's see. Hey, Shayla. Hey, Nene. Hey, Yuli. Hey, Belle. Hey, Aspen. Hey, Elizabeth. All right. Can you guys hear me and hear me clearly? Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So you guys can hear me. All right. So, and we're definitely not watching all 50 parts. We're not. We are definitely not. So with that being said, I want to start off with this, okay? I think this is very important to actually read this because this is kind of going to sum up everything that we are probably going to discuss tonight, okay? Now, this was actually posted by the good old Halle Berry, and she posted, "Stay single until you feel exactly like this. Stay single until it feels easy, simple, like breathing. Stay single until you find someone who doesn't want to play games, someone who knows what they want. Stay single until you find someone who just makes sense, who has only ever brought you peace and happiness. Stay single until you find someone who never fills your heart with doubt, someone who reminds you every day how special you are to them. Stay single until you don't have to constantly remind someone how to be better or how to treat you right. Stay single until you find someone who would do anything to make you feel loved and heard. Stay single until you find someone who makes even the most mundane moments feel like adventure, someone who will dance with you in the kitchen at the end of a difficult day, someone who will bring you coffee when you're tied up in deadlines and overwhelmed with stress. And stay single until you find someone who knows that disagreements are I'm glad I'm single. Yuli. Why are you making me laugh? Stay single until you find someone who knows that disagreements are bound to happen, but that what you have for each other is stronger than that. Someone who values you more than being right or winning. I just wanted to start off with that because, yeah, this lady by the name of, I don't know if it's Ressa Tessa or Risa Tisa, whatever the hell her name is, decided to go on TikTok to pretty much tell her whole story about her boyfriend going into her husband. And I believe, if I am not mistaken, this relationship lasted from 2020 until 2021. Okay. If I'm not mistaken, you guys can correct me because, of course, it's a lot. It's 50 freaking parts. So from 2020 to 2021, she went through all of this hell to where she literally had 50 parts to discuss on TikTok. And so, with that being said, she literally went from this first picture to pretty much, I guess this is what her hell went through because her face says it all in the next picture, what she pretty much went through. Okay. And so, with that, Shayla, crew member Shayla is the one who told me about this. And I started watching it when she told me about it. And I was like, Shayla, what in the hell do you have me watching? All right. And, she's like, well, are you intrigued? And I said, yeah, I'm intrigued, but not in the good way intrigued. I'm in the way intrigued, like, how in the hell did she allow this to happen? Okay. So with that, hell no, I ain't watched all 50. I ain't even watched up to some of this stuff we gonna watch tonight. We gonna watch it together because I figure it's always good to have this dialogue with your crew, and we can just have dialogue and I can pause and we can talk about this because some of this stuff I think I watched up to part 6 or 7, maybe part 6 or 7. So, I'm just gonna be honest, and I'm sure there's gonna be people like, Chris, ain't nothing wrong with the ATL. Shit. If y'all ain't noticed lately, the ATL just seems like a place where women just become desperate as hell. Within 1 week, we done have Fonnie Willis act a damn fool over some peen, and now we got this story. And both of these women, I'm gonna assume, are middle age. Well, we know Fonnie is middle age. I'm gonna assume she's middle age. I'm gonna assume she's middle age just based on some of the stuff that she said, because I don't think she actually said her age. But at this point, I just don't think ATL is a great place to be if you are a heterosexual Black woman. I mean, it is what it is. Okay? It is what it is. So, with that being said, hey, Joseph, what's up, brother? With that being said, we're going to kind of go through this, and I know she's long-winded, so I'm going to skim through some of this. I'm going to pause it or whatever the case may be. But first things first, and y'all know how I am when I compare who people look like. Can y'all see it? Don't she kind of give you Nail Carter vibes? I mean, she got this Risa Tisa girl got bigger eyes, but don't she give you Nail Carter vibes? And I used to watch that show, Give Me a Break, back in the day, and I think maybe that also just kind of reflect what we're dealing with right now, because I kept saying, girl, give me a break. Like, what the hell? What the hell is going on here with some of the things that she was saying? But I'm sorry, she just kind of gives me vibes of Nail Carter, God rest her soul. But she does give me those vibes. If she had the short haircut, I feel like she would definitely be spot on to Nail Carter. Now, back to her. So we're going to watch this a little bit, because immediately within the first freaking video, I said, what the hell is wrong with her? And look, I'm not saying that I ain't played the fool before, because I've told you guys I have, but I also played the fool teenage years or in my 20s, not at my big old age now. Now, again, she does not say her age, but she does mention she was a high risk as far as a pregnancy is concerned. She said also because she's overweight, but I want to also assume it's because of her age as well. But we're going to get into this, and we're definitely, yes, please have your green card, have your whatever, smoke libations, whatever you want, because we about to get into this. For those who watched or didn't watch, let's do it.
Please excuse the hair, but here is part 1 of Who the Fuck Did I Marry? So I met my ex-husband around March 4th of 2020. We met on Facebook dating site, and we also matched on Hinge. I did not realize that he was on both under 2 different names. So one was his actual name, and the other one was a variation, like a nickname.
Pause. He had 2 different names. His real name and a variation. If that ain't the first red flag, I don't know what the hell is. On top of the fact that, yes, it's Facebook dating, but how do you have 2 profiles with 2 different names, 2 different variations, and you think that's normal? Okay, so we not even 30 seconds into the video, and I was like, huh? What did she just say? But let's continue.
That he called himself. Different pictures. So it was a running joke between us. Oh, you ain't even recognize that you had matched with me on Hinge. No, I didn't. And also that should have been a red flag. By the way, you will notice in this story, I called it the United Nations of red flags. It is so many red flags that, I mean, you would have thought I was colorblind because I ignored all of them. So anyway, back to the story.
Not a red blanket, a red sea.
We exchanged phone numbers. He called me and we talked on the phone for the first time. In the first phone call, he told me that he had just moved to Georgia from California, from San Diego. His job had transferred him because he was being transferred in as the new regional manager for a major condiment company that is based here in Georgia. I'm not going to say the name. And so we also talked about his childhood. He told me he grew up in Philly. He's from Philly. Both of his parents were deceased. This is the first phone call. Both of his parents were deceased. His father was a Philadelphia police officer. His mom was a teacher. He also told me he briefly lived in Augusta with his family. He had 2 brothers and 2 sisters. He also had 2 half-brothers on his dad's side. First phone call. So I'm just giving you guys the backstory. This was the first phone call we had. So we talked about family. We talked about friends. We talked about our jobs. At the time, I was working at Georgia State Patrol. And he knew this, and he just thought that was like, wow, so you work with troopers all day. Yes, I did. Also in that phone call, he explained to me that he used to play football. He explained that he used to play arena football. I know nothing about arena football.
Pause. You don't have to know anything about arena football, but what you do have is Google. So if he played arena football, all you had to do was Google his name and arena football and see what you came up with. And I was literally about to say that, Nene, you definitely hit. I said, how are you working with Georgia State Patrol and you don't have a mind to investigate what the hell he is saying? Especially coming from online dating where people know you deal with catfishes on a daily basis. Let's continue.
I know about NFL. I know about college. Go Dogs. But I don't know anything about arena football. So he explained to me that he used to play arena football. He used to work at Apple in the off season of arena football. And I remember thinking on that phone call, oh, okay, good for you. I don't know anything about arena football. And I believe I did tell him that. I don't know anything about arena football. That'll come into play later on. So he told me, I just moved here. My job is paying for my housing and they are helping me to look for a house. He was like, right now I'm in Gwinnett County, but I'm trying to look for a house, ideally in Atlanta, like Brookhaven, Sandy Springs. He was like, I really would like to move out there. And so I thought, that's great. You're looking to get a house. You just moved here. He was like, I don't really know too many people here because I spend all my time at work and, this job is really demanding. So that was our first phone call. We talked more. He talked a lot, which took me by surprise because I'm not really used to men talking more than me. He eventually asked me out on a date. Our first date was set for Saturday, March 7th, 2020. He asked me what was my favorite restaurant. I said Cheesecake Factory.
The Cheesecake Factory. Didn't we just have a whole nonsense about the Cheesecake Factory? That's why she's laughing. Because, of course, remember the whole the first date Cheesecake Factory nonsense?
And so we agreed to go out at the Cheesecake Factory in a location that was in between. I lived in Clayton County at the time. He lived in Gwinnett County. I realized that if you don't know anything about Metro Atlanta, that makes no sense. But basically, we lived about 45 minutes apart. So we agreed to meet at the Cheesecake Factory over at Perimeter Mall, which is in an area, Sandy Springs, Dunwoody area. I was excited. Like, I called my friends and was like, I got a date, blah, blah, blah. We'll see how it goes. First conversation was good. Hopefully he looks like his pictures because, that's always an issue with online dating. Hopefully he looks like his pictures. So on my way to our date, I took 285, and literally right before I got to Boulder Crest, the exit for Boulder Crest, I heard a boom and I lost control of my car. Thank God that well, not thank God, but I knew what to do. So I did not crash, but my tire blew out. So I called him and I said, hey, I am so sorry, but my tire just blew on 285. I'm slowly making my way off the exit. I believe I pulled into a Chevron gas station. And I said, I got to get this fixed. I don't know.
Exactly. The tire to me was a major sign, but also another thing, yes, Nene, she didn't FaceTime. She didn't do any other stuff. See, this isn't a caution. Don't be desperate. Because this is really what it is. And the same thing that I said when it came to Fonnie. When you're desperate, people lose their common sense. People lose their intelligence. And this is clearly the case. And I know a lot of people have tried to say that they think she's off. That's too easy to give her that pass. It's too easy. It's simply just desperation.
What to do, like I'm a damsel in distress kind of thing. He kind of paused, he got quiet, and he was like, tell me exactly where you are, drop your pin. So I dropped the pin, and he came to the gas station. Got out the car, and I was so relieved that he actually looked like his pictures that I was like, oh my God, he's actually attractive. Because he's like 6'4", 6'5". Oh, also, man, I apologize. So let me go back to the first conversation. Let me add something. He did tell me in the first phone call that he was divorced, and that his ex-wife, she had 2 children, a boy and a girl, who were teenagers, young adults. I think the girl was about 20, and he said that he had a very close relationship with his stepkids. But that he and his ex-wife had divorced because she cheated on him out in California. And so coming to Georgia was a new beginning for him. She was still out in California. The kids were still out in California. And so, he was like, I can't stand her, but I still want to be in the kids' lives. I have to put that in there because that will come back later. So this is just setting the stage. Again, that first conversation we talked about family, job, friends, how he ended up in Georgia, me being in Georgia, the things that, I would think people talk about in the first conversation.
Girl,
All right, now
get
back
to
to
it.
the tire blew out. So he shows up to the gas station. He changes my tire, which I just thought was the sexiest thing in the world. And then
Do y'all hear this shit? Why is she thinking that a man changing a tire is the sexiest thing in the world? Do y'all hear this? While she is so busy telling us about this story, I am curious to know what her background is and the men that she had in her life. You think it's sexy for a man to change a tire? Her standards were super low, super low. To me, every man should know how to change a tire. That's the way I was raised. A man should know how to change a tire, period.
he proceeds to say, hey, I found a tire place around the corner. You need to get another tire. Like, you can't drive on this donut. So he followed me to the tire place, and then helped me get a tire, paid for it. So I was definitely like, wow. And so the vibe was good. So anyway, I get the tire fixed. We follow each other to the Cheesecake Factory over in Perimeter. We hold hands walking into the Cheesecake Factory. So in my mind, I'm like, this. Oh my God, I had butterflies. That's the look of a woman who had butterflies. So I had butterflies. And we go in, there's a long wait, And so we sit outside and we just talk. And the conversation's great. And this is where he tells me what it is he's looking for. He tells me, you know, I believe at the time he was 42. He was like, I want to get married and it be for real. He's like, my parents were married 40 plus years before my mom passed away. And I want that. I want marriage, family, a house. Like, that is what I want. He was like, I'm as a man, I'm ready to get married, but I want it to be for real, because the first time, you know, it really hurt me when she cheated on me. So he's telling me everything that I wanted to hear. And so he was like, what is it that you want? And I said pretty much the same thing. I was like, I'm ready to get married, definitely want to have a family, and I want to marry my best friend. So we both put on the table that we wanted marriage. And this is the end of part 1. All right, who the fuck?
Okay, so all right, y'all. So I need my crew who's seasoned like me. There's already several red flags in this situation. One, yes, he's saying all of this stuff up front. Now, maybe for some women who are older, they may find that attractive because he's not wasting time and he's saying what he wants up front. But typically, people feel each other out in person before they really start explaining what they want in a relationship. The fact that he started talking about marriage so fast and he started giving up that information so quickly, that should have been a red flag in the situation. And in my opinion, him claiming that his ex cheated on him was a sympathy card to make it seem like I am the good man. I'm the good man. I just had bad women. You know, that type of sneaky nonsense that the trifling ones do. So yeah. So with that being said, she's freaking out over them holding hands. She's freaking out over him paying for a tire, freaking out over him changing a tire. I mean, damn. Damn. Like this is tragic right here, okay? This is tragic. I commend her, however, for telling the story. I do. Um yeah, I don't understand how you get to middle age and you don't understand, especially if she was accomplished on her own. Hell, I used to get the Cheesecake Factory to go just because I wanted the Cheesecake Factory, and you tripping over the Cheesecake Factory and a change of a tire. Let's continue.
Did I marry? Part 2.
I'm gonna talk over when
So
she
we
started to
both
say the
put
F
on the
bomb.
table what it is that we wanted. We both had established we were dating for marriage. We were not dating just to date. We were not trying to be friends with benefits and none of that. So the dinner at Cheesecake Factory went really well. We laughed, we joked, we talked about people, which is kind of up my alley, my sense of humor. It was a good vibe. So at the end of the date, or excuse me, at the end of dinner, we sat in his car and he played this song for me by John Legend. I don't know the name of the song. By the time this video posts, I will put the name at the bottom. I can't remember the song. I just remember that John Legend was talking about, I think I met my wife tonight. And I thought it was a sign. So I was like, oh my God. So anyway, we ended up sitting in the car talking just about life and experiences until about midnight. So during this conversation, he again is telling me how it was, you know, what it was like living in California, how he went out there, he went to San Diego State, he played football for San Diego State. He talked about how, you know, he loved it out there, so he stayed. That's when he joined the company. And then he explained that he also did arena football, but only did it for about 2 or 3 years. He claims that while he was doing arena football, the team that he was on won a championship. But again, keep in mind, I don't know anything about arena football. So I was like,
she keeps making excuses, and I'm sorry, I can't give you I cannot say I can see your point. We are in the age of Google, arena football, San Diego State, you played football. This stuff is easy to research. And I don't know if anybody actually listened to all 50, but did she ever say she actually researched him playing football? This is crazy. This sounds like she may be middle aged, but I feel like this is a girl who is in her late teens, early 20s, explaining how she got played for the first time. This is what it sounds like to me.
Okay, I didn't know that they had championships. And he was like, he got a little offended, like, yeah, they got championships. And, he was on that team. So he talked to me about how he worked at Apple. He worked something in the IT area of Apple, but within the store. Again, it was one of those, it's like when I tell people I used to work at Amazon. I really wasn't paying much attention to it. Why? So we talked about all that. We talked deeply into what happened with the ex-wife. It's because I asked. He was not volunteering all this information. So in other words, I get very uncomfortable when men start talking about their ex a lot. That's not what happened. I was asking questions because I was really trying to figure out, okay, are you ready for a relationship, or are you still missing her? So we talked about that. We talked about my exes. That was a mistake I made because I talked about how I dated at one point in time somebody I worked with. That will come back later. And he seemed real cool about it. He was like, that was before me and blah, blah, blah. So the conversation was good. Midnight comes and I go home. Yes, I went home. We ended up talking. Mind you, our first date was March 7th. And within about 2.5 weeks, Brian Kemp, our governor, shut Georgia down. We were going to be on lockdown. So during those 2.5 weeks, we talked every day. We went out again at Red Lobster. I remember Red Lobster. But everything was going great. The issue.
Hold up. So I know I'm going to be going, and I'm hoping that people who are watching this they already know some of the story. Now, this man claimed that he got pre-approved for him to be able to purchase a home for $750,000. Okay. Now, in the Georgia area, that is a lot of money. You can get a lot of land property for $750,000. So this man apparently has accounts. He can afford a home for $750,000, and he's only taking you to the Cheesecake Factory and Red Lobster. Now, again, if you like the Cheesecake Factory and Red Lobster, that's fine. But I mean, am I the only one who would be like, if you got it like that, can you take me to something a little bit more upscale? I'm just saying.
Issue was, where are we going to quarantine? So the question was, are we going to quarantine at his place, which he had like a studio type of situation. Like, it clearly, where he was staying, I was like, it's like a studio apartment, but he kept telling me like, this is temporary because I'm looking for a house. Like, he showed me the email from a woman who worked at the company where she was out on maternity leave, but she was putting him in contact with a realtor to help him find a townhome or a single family house. So I was just like, okay, this is definitely temporary. Like, he's not trying to stay here long term. And she was apologizing in the email. I'm so sorry, this should have been taken care of before you got here, but it wasn't, da 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 da. I saw the email. I read it. I read the email. So the decision was, we're going to quarantine at the studio, or we're going to quarantine in my house? First mistake I made. Well, there's a lot, but this was a mistake I made. So ladies, caution moment. During one of our dates, because keep in mind, in those 2 weeks, we were seeing each other quite a bit. Nothing physical or anything like that. Just two people who I thought were really on some. All right, let's see if this is going to grow into something. He came to my house. When he came to my house, I had a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath townhome. He was in a studio. Now, I'm telling you guys all of this in order of how it happened. So some things I'm probably going to insert what I was thinking and the mistake I made. Can I turn this off? No. Okay, I still need that. And I say that to say that I did not realize inviting him to my home probably made his eyes go, oh shit, she's a keeper. She got this 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath townhouse, and I'm in like a little studio. Yeah, let me go ahead and pursue this. What I need to do to quarantine here. The decision was made, quarantine at my house. So the state went on lockdown. He came and stayed with me in my home, and for the most part, in the initial beginning, it was fine. It was fine. The reason why I hesitate is because I grew up in the church. So for me, it was really like an internal struggle of, bruh, you always said you would never live with a guy unless he was your husband. And now you living with a dude and he ain't your husband. Like, it was a struggle for me because I knew better. And don't come for me. I'm just telling you the way I grew up. It was like that. It was not sitting right with me. But at the same time, I didn't want to quarantine by myself. I did not want to. So there we go.
I know a lot of people who got pets during the quarantine, so they didn't have to be by themselves. And 2 weeks of knowing this guy, you don't know if he got the big C or not. You don't know where he's been. You don't know any of that. And you decide after knowing this guy for 2 whole weeks that he is going to stay at your place. And then she says, don't come for me. Baby, we coming for you. We coming for you. And it's okay. I'm sure you understand that this is just what happens when you want to put your story on the internet. But this is when I was really about to throw my computer. I was just like, how crazy can you be? How crazy can you be? First of all, people that I even know, I wouldn't even allow them to quarantine with me. Like, I don't know if y'all remember that time, but it was quite scary. Everybody was like, absolutely not. You're not coming to my house. But she decided to let this man in after 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 freaking weeks.
So he moved in. We talked about the bills. Let me clear something up that I said in the other video where I said he paid all the bills. He paid all the household bills. He did not pay my car payment, my cell phone, or my car insurance. He paid the rent because my rent at the time was less than $1,000. He paid utility bills. And so when he's telling me that he's a regional manager, I was like, wow, okay, so you got money. And so he paid all the household bills. So my check really was just taking care of me, myself, and I. And I am not, this is where it's not gonna make me look good, but it's the truth. It was intoxicating to not have to worry financially about how to pay the bills. It was a wonderful feeling. And so I kind of pushed to the side the fact that, yeah, you shacking up, because it's like, but your paycheck, you don't have to worry right now. Like, he's taking care of all of April's bills before April even comes, because this was still March. So we're living together, and I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, he's helping to cook and clean, and then we have a conversation about house. Is he still going to buy a house just for him, or is he going to buy a house where it's for us? Because we are going to try to make this thing work, be official, get married, have a family. So the
Thank you, Niecy G, for the super chat. And no, middle age don't have nothing to do with being dumb, but there are some middle-aged women who are getting to the point where they feel like I need to find my companion, and they get desperate and they don't think. And for whatever reason, a lot of that is going down in the ATL. And I got friends in ATL, and they say the same thing. It's hard out there. But hell, it's hard out here in California, and you don't see me acting a damn fool like this. But let's continue.
question now on the table is, what are we going to do? Because I didn't want to stay in Riverdale, Georgia. I did not want to raise a family there. I refused to have a baby in Clayton County. So the decision was made, let's start looking for a house for both of us. Remember, he was already looking for a house for him. But then he was like, you know what? We're together. I plan to marry you. Let's look for a family home for the two of us. He was like, this is how much I was approved for. That's when he showed me the Chase paperwork. It was a letter stating that and it had the Chase emblem at the top. He showed me a letter stating that he was approved for 700. All right, part 3, who the fuck did I marry? So this is when he showed me a letter from Chase with the Chase logo at the top, stating that he had been approved for a mortgage for a $750,000 mortgage, or a $750,000 house. So he was like, we can't go over 750. And I said, I remember asking him, can you afford the mortgage on a $750,000 house? Because I know I can't. This is when he explains to me, I told you how I played arena football.
This does sound like a Tyler Perry drama. It really does. It's a mixture of Tyler Perry and Tubi all into one. Like, this is what it sounds like. And I can't make excuses for her, because she was even dumb when it came to mortgage information and real estate information. How do you not know this information? Like, in your middle age, you're like, I'm going to assume she was easily in her 30s, early 40s at the time. How do you not I don't get it. I do not get it.
Invested my money really well. So he said, I have money that will help pay for the mortgage. He was like, we're good. Like, I'm financially, I am okay. He was like, that's why I'm able to get approved for $750,000 mortgage. So he told me that his money was in different savings accounts. He said he had an account with Chase Bank, he had an account with US Bank, and he had an offshore account. This is what he told me. The offshore account, I was like, why? And he explained something about, the US, the US imposes taxes on money when you have a certain amount in US banks. He was like, so everybody knows that it's smart to have some money in an offshore account. Y'all, look, I live paycheck to paycheck. I was like, okay, that's whatever. I said, so you have the money to pay for a home. I'm also holding in my hand a letter from Chase saying that he was approved for $750,000. So,
but did you have a pay stub? Did you even have proof of where he worked? See, this, I'm telling, and I'm saying all of this, and I'm stopping it because for women who are listening, for young girls who are listening, please don't do this dumb shit. Like, you see a letter from Chase, but you don't bother also researching where he works and seeing the type of money that's coming in. You're just taking his word for everything. And furthermore, because I'm going to skip through some of this because she talks too much and she's long-winded, but apparently he was searching for this home for both of them, but he stated that his name was the only one that was going to be on the house. I'm sorry, but if you're looking at a home for both of us, both of our names need to be on the mortgage, the deed, and everything else. Why is your name just on it? If this is for us, both of our names need to be on there, which means I need to be involved. Okay?
I went off of what I saw. So we contacted a realtor. I won't say his name, but man, if he ever sees this TikTok, I owe this man such an apology. But we contacted a realtor who was based in Cobb County because I was very adamant I wanted to move back to Marietta, Smyrna area in Cobb County, Georgia. He was fine with that. His whole attitude was, you're going to be my wife, happy life. So we met a realtor. I would find houses that I wanted to tour. Keep in mind that this was COVID. So at the time, we could not tour a home. It would have to be a virtual tour. So this particular realtor, we found a house in Douglasville, Georgia. Not Cobb County, but nevertheless, it's in Douglasville. I was fine with Douglasville. So we found a house in Douglasville, Georgia. The realtor did a FaceTime tour of the house. The house was really a nice home. 5 bedrooms, 4 baths. So we did a FaceTime tour of the home. And the home was listed, I believe, roughly 400 and something thousand. I really like the house. I could see myself living there. I could see us living there. Could see us with the kid there. This is now April, just for timeline purposes. This is April. So he really liked the house. He was like, you know what, we'll put an offer in on the house. He was like, if you like it, because again, it was COVID, we weren't going to be able to see the house in person because the family still lived there. So he said, I'll put an offer in. We'll see if it's accepted.
No, we will put an offer in, and I am attached to every email, every correspondent. Like, no, it's not. I'm just going to do nothing. We are going to do it together because this will be our house.
I said, okay. So he puts an offer in. He's telling me he put an offer in. I need to clarify some things he told me and the things that I actually saw. So for this house in Douglasville, he told me he was putting an offer in. The realtor would call me because one thing that the realtor told us, he was like, if the woman likes the house, typically the house is going to get bought. So he kind of dealt with me a bit more than he did my ex-husband. And again, this is April 2020. This is before we got married. So at the time, he was my boyfriend. So the realtor was calling me and it was like, hey, I put the offer in, and what they're asking for is proof of funds. And I did not know anything at this time about buying a house. So I was like, hey,
y'all, even if she didn't know, how do you have a 9-to-5 job and no one possibly at your job that you're connected with has a home and you can ask them questions? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't understand. And she said the whole time that she was having this gut feeling like things were just not adding up. Well, if they're not adding up, start doing your own research. Ladies, it is important to have your own and to do your own research. When things are not making sense, start doing your own research on the side.
You probably need to talk to him because I'm not even listed on the mortgage. Like from the paperwork I saw, it was only in his name. So he called him. I guess they talked. I was not there, but I'm assuming that they had talked. So the boyfriend is coming, my ex is coming home saying, yeah, I talked to so-and-so. I sent him over the paperwork. The offer was approved. And they are going to try to do a virtual closing. First, we got to do an inspection. If the inspection goes all well, then we have to do a virtual closing. He also told me that he put down earnest money on the home. He put down, I believe, $5,000. He said, I just transferred the money over to the realtor's account or whatever, so that it could.
I ain't never heard of a virtual closing in my damn life. Now I don't, because literally during like the thick of that time, I don't think I know anyone who actually purchased a home like in 2020. But a virtual closing, I don't see how that's possible. I don't even see how that's legal. But maybe someone who's in real estate could confirm. But when she said virtual closing, I said, what the hell is that? What the hell is a virtual close?
Be earnest money for the house. So I'm just like, okay, great. He was like, so realistically, this is April. We should be able to get in that house by June. Okay, no problem.
Okay, so you're saying people were doing that? Okay. To me, a lease is different though, brother, than actually purchasing a home. And if I'm not mistaken, even during the like 2020 when it was really bad, if I'm not mistaken, you still could actually go into homes. They just made sure that one, they checked your temperature, you were masked up. If there was someone living in the home, they made sure they were either out of the home or whatever the case may be. Like that stuff was still going on. They were just more cautious. They just couldn't have open houses. They had like maybe like private showings. So, because I'd be damned if I'm looking at a home virtually and that's the way I'm going to purchase my home. Even during that time, there's no way. You need to really look at that home. You need to check it out.
So this is what he told me. About 3 or 4 days later, I get a phone call from the realtor, and the realtor is like, "Hey, I'm just checking to see what you guys want to do about that house." So I was confused. I'm at work, and I said, "Oh, I was told that he put an offer in," and the realtor was like, "He did? I didn't know that he put an offer in." And I said, well, why wouldn't you know? Like, he told me he put the offer in, and he had paid earnest money, $5,000 earnest money. And so the realtor was like, well, let me call him and find out what's going on with that, because I didn't know anything about it. So red flag, of course. So I call him, and
that real estate agent was a dumbass too. Sorry, but you were. You're a dumbass also. A dumbass real estate agent dealing with dumbasses and a scammer.
And he, in true narcissistic nature, he flips the script and he like goes off. He's like cussing, going off, like he shouldn't, excuse me, I have the hiccups. He shouldn't be calling you. If he has a question, he should call me because I'm the one that's on the mortgage. He was like, and now it's going to be an issue. And I said, well, did you put the offer in with him or not? And he said, no, I did not put the offer in with him. I put the offer in with a friend of mine who is a realtor, so I can give him the business. So I did not hear from that realtor again. So I was just like, is the house under contract or is it not? He was like, yes, the house is under contract. This is how crazy.
Then show me the paperwork. Show me the paperwork. Show the proof. That's it. Okay, well, if it's under contract, you had to sign something. Even if you know, like, there has to be something that shows this home is officially yours. This is what I'm saying. I mean, it's sad to say. I mean, scammers were scamming during that time. Scammers be scamming, period. And honestly, Atlanta, from my understanding, is one of the scamming capitals even before that time. You know what I mean? So it's like, and I don't know how long she lived there, but that should have given her a heads up in itself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, did she just live in her own bubble? I did everything strictly email when renting my place and had no problems. Yeah, but it's a rent. Rent, like, you could break a lease. It may cost, you can break a lease. Like, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes to purchasing a home, that is the most important decision that people make in their lives. I ain't doing nothing strictly email and virtual when it comes to that.
Easy things work out. About 3 days later, on realtor.com, I'm looking at the house because I was trying to figure out in my mind how I'm gonna decorate. It shows the house is under contract. So, showed my boyfriend. My boyfriend's like, I told you it was under contract. He was like, I like, did you not believe me? And I ain't had the heart to say, hell no, I didn't believe you. Like, it seemed too good to be true. But once I saw the house was under contract, I absolutely believe that, okay, it's under contract with him. Like, yeah, we're about to do inspection. We are about to move. And so we had driven by the house because, again, keep in mind, the family's still living there. So we had driven by the house. At this point, he was like, I want us to start looking for furniture so that way we can go ahead and order it. So when it's time to move, the furniture is ready, because, you know, it takes like 6 to 8 weeks sometimes for furniture to be delivered if they don't have it in stock. Like, he was very methodical and planning and saying, this is what we need to do. So we started going to Home Depot, Lowe's, because we had a printout of what the sellers were going to take. They were going to take the appliances. He had a printout. Let me be clear. He had a printout. So it said on there that they were going to take the appliances. So we needed to get a new stove, new refrigerator, new microwave, all that stuff. So we went to Home Depot and Lowe's, and I went ham. I chose all these new appliances, and here's where we get into the shopping. All right, part 4. So we go to Home Depot, we go to Lowe's.
Okay, you guys, I'm going to fast forward through this because she's talking about this stupid shopping and how, now, mind you, this was another sign that it was some BS, because during that time, it didn't just take 4 to 6 weeks, especially when you was buying furniture and stuff, and hell, even some appliances. It was taking months for people to get their stuff during that time. Months. 4 to 6 months, even sometimes 6 to 8 months. It was taking people forever to get their stuff because the materials and everything, everything was behind. So, you know, child, when I tell you, if y'all can avoid living in Atlanta, just avoid it. Like, I'm sorry. It's just avoid it. Just avoid it. He took her window shopping for Neverland for real. The girl, it is Black History Month. You could have saved this for more. Exactly. And I think she just had a birthday. She said she just had a birthday. The realtor wasn't real. Nobody was real. Was the assistant even real that he had? Was his job real? But you know what she could have done? She could have found all of this out if she would have just did her proper research, which really makes me wonder how many previous relationships did she really have? Like, what was her background? Because to me, it just seems like she just, I don't know, child. I don't know. And didn't put a penny on your own. Exactly. Exactly. And furthermore, with so much going on and scammers and everything else, I would want to make sure you have a legit job so you don't bring no type of illegal nonsense to my door. Like, you need to be mindful of that too. I feel like slapping somebody today for real.
Choosing all these appliances. He's taking pictures of this of the SKU number. We had representatives helping us, and he basically explained to them, "Hey, we're buying a house. We should be closing sometime in June. Can we order this stuff now? Can I put a hold on it? Like, what can we do? Because we're not ready for delivery." I stood there as the Home Depot rep said, "We can hold it in our warehouse. Like, you can buy something and we can hold it." People do it all the time, especially with COVID. So I watched him pay. I want to say it was about it was either 350 or 500. I watched him pay a deposit on a whole new set of appliances for them, and they were going to hold it until we were ready for delivery.
Probably with somebody's credit card that wasn't his.
I watched this. So I was like, okay, good deal. Like, we got the appliances. Next, let's go to Rooms to Go and Ashley Furniture and find actual furniture. So we went all around Rooms to Go. We went to Ashley Furniture. We went to American Signature. And I saw all these things that I wanted. Again, he's taking pictures of it. He was like, I can go online and order it. I didn't think anything of it because, again, I just saw that we held the appliances. So I was like, okay, that's fine. So April turns into May. May 2020 comes. This is where things start to get a little interesting. May comes, and obviously we had not done inspection. And I'm asking him all the time, what's the deal with the house? He was like, oh, because of COVID, they're trying to get someone to do the inspection. But the guy that they had, it was always something. The guy they had caught COVID, so they're going to have to get somebody else. And he's like 15 houses backed up, so it'll be a while. So at this point in May, I know I look crazy. In this point in May of 2020, I started recording audio diaries. I don't know why. It was something just made me just start recording my thoughts in an audio diary, and I still have them. And I would save them by the date, and I would just start talking about what's on my mind. So I was like, I knew.
She should have took her thoughts to a friend or a family member so somebody could talk back to her instead of actually recording it on a freaking audio thing. No, you need to speak to someone. You need to give your confessions and actually speak to someone so they can tell you straight up you're a dumbass. Dumbass.
I knew there was something. Something was nagging me like, But I kept pushing it out of my mind. I was like, you saw, this is what I reminded myself. You saw him pay for the appliances. You know the house is under contract. You know that he told you that he's the one who put the house under contract. Why would, I remember saying to myself, why would he lie about that? This is so easy to verify. Why would he lie about that? Have you caught him in any other lie? And at the time, the answer was no. So I really was like, maybe you just aren't used to a guy who actually does what he's supposed to do. I was questioning myself and then answering my own questions. So inspection didn't happen. Around mid-May, I found out I was pregnant.
Okay. March 7th, she said, was the first date. 2 weeks later, he moves in. Mid-May, she's preggers. So she was letting him go raw also. For all she know, he could have had COVID peen. And she literally allowed this man to come and move into her house and literally go in her raw. You see what I'm saying? Like literally what is going on here? Let me see here. She knew better. She got pregnant in April. She just said mid-May, or did she lie about that? She knew better at this point. Who gonna make notes and not fact check if you feel you need to document things that make. I'm telling you. Hey, YouTube, do you have permission to use someone else? What do you mean by permission? This is public, but I will say it's interesting that you just said that because I was about to make sure because everybody and their mother who decided to take the time to actually record all of this because it's over 4 hours and posted on YouTube. It's all over YouTube at this point, and it's on a social media page. But I'm going to give a shout out to the actual page that I believe I got it from, which is Messy Stories. But it's almost every channel that has this now. So it's public. So I guess hopefully that answers your question. Y'all crazy. She doesn't have a mama. She does. She mentions the mama and auntie later on. She does. Yeah. Raw period. But we definitely know, you know what I'm saying, like the high STD rates in Atlanta. Like that's a known fact. So this is what I'm saying. Like she just did not care. She didn't care about anything as long as he was paying her bills, which she honestly said her rent was less than $1,000 a month, which is damn good, even in the ATL. But she said she was raised in a church. Yeah, it's a lot of people raised in a church, but they ain't necessarily Christians. Ooh, did I say that? Ooh, ooh. Yeah, a lot of people's raised in the church. They don't mean they Christians. Game over. Found out in neighborhood. Oh, I can't stop watching the reviews on her. I think she is new. I don't know if she's still here, but welcome. But yeah, well, exactly. I'm calling Cap. She cannot be that desperate and dumb. I'm gonna say she's desperate. I don't think she's dumb. I think she's trying to play dumb, but I'm gonna say she's desperate.
May 2020. When I found out I was pregnant, he was ecstatic and I was like, oh shit. The reason why I was oh shit is because number one, I'm plus size. Number two, because of my age, I felt like it was probably gonna be a high risk pregnancy. And I wasn't married. And that nagged. I cannot tell y'all how much it nagged me. There was a lot of internal struggle in between. My family didn't even know that he had moved in at this point. I told them, you know, that I was pregnant, went to the doctor, everything looked good. But again, because it was COVID, he couldn't go in with me into the actual room. So, you know, doing any sort of ultrasound, doing the blood test, because my HCG levels were really high. So the doctor was like, hey, it might be twins. We don't know yet. You're still kind of early, you know, along. They gave me a due date. The due date was January 26th of 2021. So, yeah. May, found out I was pregnant. So there was now more of a push into, we got to get a house. We got to get the fuck up out of here. I'm not having a baby in Riverdale. Okay? Nothing against Riverdale. But I ain't having a baby in Riverdale. So we need to.
But you lived in Riverdale. What? Huh? You live. See, she was too busy trying to look for an upgrade versus just being content with what she had. How you gonna say you're not gonna have a baby in Riverdale when you lived in Riverdale and you were comfortable in Riverdale? I'm not having a baby in Riverdale, but you live there. So what's wrong with what's wrong with Riverdale? You clearly live there. You didn't have no problem finding a 3-bedroom, 2-bath townhome for less than $1,000. You were comfortable there, so why can't you have a baby there?
We need to find out what's going on with this house. And so he was on top of it. He had an answer for everything. He was like, I'm gonna call and find out what's going on, blah, blah, blah. He then magically told me about a week later, oh, they're going to do inspection on the house like in 2 days. So I was just like, okay, keep in mind, I'm taking his word for it. I'm taking his word for all this. So he's like, they're going to do an inspection. Once we get the inspection report back, then we will know what we're going to be responsible for. What are we getting ourselves into? So,
So you guys, I'm gonna summarize because this woman is long-winded. She talks a lot. If she could have easily made this probably 20 videos if she just would have gotten to the damn point. So pretty much at this point, she ends up finding out she's pregnant. Oh, and by surprise, they don't get that house. In fact, it shows that it has closed. She calls the realtor who closed because she claims she don't know what that means. What does that mean? It's closed. What does that mean? So she calls and finds out that it's an older white couple that actually closed on a home, that it wasn't in fact her boyfriend who closed on the home. So that was the biggest lie. She said she hadn't caught him in a lie before, but if that's not the biggest lie, I don't know what is. But did she stop dealing with him at that point? No, she continued. And she even said she was so stressed out at that point, she felt like she wasn't going to have a healthy pregnancy, and she ends up losing the baby. Okay. Now, let me see if I can fast forward to this video. Y'all got favorite videos. Not she got 50. We about to literally have this is like a soundtrack. So people gonna be like, video 40 is the best. Video 35, oh my gosh, that was like the big moments that made me say, what the hell are you doing? Like, everybody's gonna have their favorites. As far as I see it, I'm rolling my eyes so far in all of them. This was sad. Yes, child, she let that man run that looking for a house again for 2022 houses. She thought she was about to be Candy's neighbor, and Dr. Simone was gonna be her OPGYN. This is what I'm saying. But let me see, y'all.
I guess they did an inspection. He showed up. Let him get out of the lie. And that's what I did. I purposely made the decision that I knew he was going to come back, and I knew he was going to give me some bullshit on why he couldn't buy the house, because he didn't know that I knew that house is already sold. The house is already sold. And this is the part where I said, I'm gonna be honest, even though it's gonna make me look bad, because most women in their right mind would have been like, I'm out. And I didn't. So, sure enough, he came home. He didn't really say anything that day. The next day I asked him about the house, and he said, my friend, the realtor, he was like, I'm talking to him because something's going on with the interest rate. And when he said that, I felt so much relief, because I knew that I had been prepared for, he's going to give you some bullshit.
Child, by the time you closing, you know what the hell the interest rate is. By the time you're closing, the interest rate should be locked in. Like, how stupid can you be that you have a phone with Google and you can just simply, hell, you can watch a YouTube video and get that type of information? What made you guys? Let me ask y'all this. What do you think made her want to tell this story? What's the reason? What's the reason that you guys think she told this story? Why? So this ended, I guess, in 2021. It is now 2024. What made you guys like, why do you guys feel like she told this story? Unless she said that, hey, maybe she said it in video 49 or something. But I'm just like, why wait this time and then you put all of this on TikTok? He did all of that because he knew she wanted to come up, and if he didn't make it seem like he was balling, yeah. But see, those type of guys, and again, this is all alleged because this is her story. But apparently, one of the ex-wives is kind of confirming what she's saying. They can smell those type of women from a mile away. They can smell them. They know. They know. You can't close exactly. You can't close until you know the rates. The cloud. Okay, so you think, okay, the cloud. She had to get it off her chest. That's interesting to get it off your chest 3 years later and on TikTok for 50 videos and a possible check. Clout and sympathy. Check and see if she's got a GoFundMe. Look, I don't know how much she's getting paid off of TikTok, but from my understanding, her videos are in the millions. I don't know how many followers she has, but I just find it interesting that this ended in 2021 and she's talking about it now in 2024. She stupid after because that will just say it wasn't your fault, but it was. TikTok pays, but I just don't know how it works for sure. But she can still shop the story for like a film or something. Y'all really think it would go there? But you know what? Hell, Tubi is like the YouTube for film, so I wouldn't put it past her if somebody would or she would sit up there and try to do an independent on her life or something like that. Belle should have journaled this. She got a free trip to London. She got a free trip to London. And that's that's why I asked the max time for TikTok, because it just seemed like, yeah, I think apparently it is only 10 minutes. She's getting the trip to Paris for this because it wasn't educational. Like she had an overall moral of the story to be. Yeah, she should be a millionaire from all the views she got. Exactly. If she would have played her, this tells you right here that she just probably ain't got a lot of street smarts and hustle in her, because honestly, she could have created a lot of money off of this. She's like a phenomenon right now as far as this story is concerned. And I'm curious to know how much money she really making off of this doing it on TikTok. Hell, I need a trip. Let me make a video about my ex-husband. Right. I'm saying, Nene. I'm saying, and I'll interview you, girl. I will interview you, child. And she said with all the views, she'll make 90K or something like that. Just 90K? Okay, well, I mean, that's pretty good though, I guess, to tell your story. I guess just like Derek. I told my friend the same thing. No hustle. Yeah, she ain't got the hustle in her. She been holding this in for like 3 or 4 years. And now all of a sudden she wants to say it around her birthday at that. Angel's writing the script as we speak for a Tubi movie. I saw an article today that said allegedly she's going to be making around 200K from her series on TikTok. Okay. Now, if I was her, I would have did this on multiple platforms, because if I'm not mistaken, they say YouTube, you make more money on YouTube than TikTok, if I'm not mistaken. But I guess 200K is a pretty nice coin for someone who, I don't know what the hell she does now. But I mean, hell, y'all, come on, y'all. Let's just keep it real. This girl is doing a TikTok video with the damn rollers in her head. Y'all see the way she got her hair, and she's talking about excuse the hair. Why would you do a TikTok video when you see that potentially anyone can see it and you got your head looking like this? Child, I feel like it's conspiracy. It's election year. Look, brother, you think everything is a conspiracy during an election year. You've been saying that since last year. Don't come for me, the powers that be. Niecy G, don't bring him up. He'll be back on the block like Master Flash. Someone said 90K. Someone else said 900. I don't know about 900K. Hey, Leo. I'm late, but but isn't this similar to Netflix show? Yeah, it is. It is. So Netflix probably wouldn't pick it up, but Tubi, I mean, I can see it being possible. She better make it back from all this foolishness for real. She's really gonna get scammed. That's what I'm saying. Like, to me, it's more of a target. I think it's gonna be guys out there that's gonna be like, oh, okay, she that desperate. Let me try and get her TikTok money.
So when he said there's something with the interest rate, I said, you know what? If this is literally what I said, y'all. If the interest rate isn't good, then we shouldn't move there. We should probably let this house go. We should cancel whatever furniture we ordered, or appliances, and let's just look for another house. I said I would like to be moved before the end of the year. I said I really don't want to be 9 months pregnant moving into a house. I would like to be done with this before then. And the way I said it was so calm, and he was like, okay. He was like, I'm gonna call the realtor.
Sorry, I'm about to fast forward this.
That you could relay to him what you need to say, and he'll tell the fiance. And my doctor was like, hell no. HIPAA.
Okay, so pretty much she's talking about how she had to pretty much get the procedure or the pill because, of course, she lost the baby, and how this assistant, because apparently he got promoted at his job, and now he had an assistant. Again, did she verify that he got this promotion? Hell, did she even verify that he had this job? Nope. But apparently he had an assistant named David that would always take his calls and all of that good stuff. Now, again, some of you guys have watched it all the way to video 50, but my guess is David was him in disguise. That's my guess. I'm going to assume David was him in disguise, because I'm just like, it's so convenient that David is able to answer the calls, and literally David says to the doctor, oh, you can give me the medical information. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. He was David. And she, I guess, only spoke to David via text message. But I guess the doctor, I suppose, spoke to him on the phone. So clearly, but she literally was only, I guess, being able to contact David via text message. Okay. So David was apparently the assistant to the boyfriend / husband who got promoted at this job. But I guess she never verified the extension number, heard the assistant's voice, none of that stuff. And she just kept going along with it. And this is still boyfriend stage, y'all. She hasn't even got married to him, but she did get married to him. This is all within the boyfriend stage.
I need to speak to him. So apparently my fiance called the doctor back about 30 minutes later. And the doctor informed him she'll be ready to be discharged in about an hour. You can make your way and come pick her up. He said he was on his way. He was on his way from Duluth to Atlanta, which is not a huge distance, but the time of day, one thing about Atlanta, there's always traffic.
Yeah, we know
She's
that.
in Georgia. He also had a sister, I think I said, who lived in Douglasville.
You guys, I'm a pass through that she's born.
And he's like, they put me on hold. And so he's like, I guess the person comes back. And he says, yeah, the price of the car is blah, blah, blah. He was like, give me a second and I can send you a picture of that printout that shows tax tag and title for the BMW.
Okay, so this is where she's talking about, I remember this part. She was talking about a car and how she wanted a Kia, but he insisted on her getting like a luxury car, whether it's a BMW or Audi or whatever. And he insisted on her getting this car. And guess what happens, you guys? Of course, she did not get the car. Okay. She didn't get the car, just like she didn't get the house. But she is going along for the ride because in her mind, this is better than, I guess, being by herself. All right. Instead of her taking all of this energy to work hard to get this stuff on her own, she is relying on hoping that this man will come through so she can be a kept woman. And ain't nothing wrong with being a kept woman, but you need to verify that he can actually keep you. That's the problem. Make sure that he actually can keep you. This man is, if this man is such a boss, he has assistant and offshore accounts, but still staying in your townhome. The math wasn't mathing at all whatsoever. Because honestly, he could have easily had a house at that point, or at least a very nice condo. We should be asking him who the falls for his game. Apparently, another woman did too. He know how to pick them. After the house fell through, why would she believe he would get her BMW? You know that, yeah, Belle. Yeah, why would she believe that? Why was she still with him after the house situation? Why? She likes the window shop, yeah, and never get anything. She really wanted to be a kept woman. He made up the, yeah, definitely.
He gets off the phone, he takes a picture of it, he sends it to whoever. He waits about 10 minutes. Okay, had to sneeze. All right, so at this point, I had test driven all these cars. Kias, hell, he even had me test drive a Nissan Murano, but the main two were BMW and an Audi. He had told my grandfather he was getting me a car. He had told my aunt he was getting me a car. That he was going to, he was like, she's going to be my wife. I want her to be in something secure. So my family was really like, wow, wow, who knew that he had this kind of money? And so I hated the fact that he did that, because anytime he got around my family, here's another red flag to put in the United Nations of red flags. He would always talk about money, and he would always brag. I never realized it in real time. I didn't realize it until I was out of the situation. He always bragged about the fact that he could fight, the fact that he had money, and the fact that he played football. Those are
the fact that he could fight. Y'all, in my personal opinion, unless a guy is a professional boxer, there's nothing cute about a guy bragging about they could fight. To me, that is still in that immature mindset. Oh, I can fight. So the hell what? Do you get paid for fighting? What is your point? So the fact that she even put that in there, oh, he bragged about how he can fight. Girl, that should have told you right there the mindset of what you were dealing with. Kimmy talking about, can I get money off of my parakeet? My parakeet story. Replacing my tire is not a flex, and me used tires weren't. Exactly. It shouldn't be a flex at all. I don't mind looking dumb if I can make money. Lord, Kimmy, I thought I wanted a bird. Who he fight? Yeah, and why are you bragging about fighting? Like, why? Like that, why is that even important?
3 things he always bragged about. Back to the cars. So I told him, I was like, pick one between the BMW and the Audi, because you said you buying it. So pick one. So this man chose the Audi. So he takes me to the dealership. I wanted a white Q8. He does give me the printout of how much it's going to cost, tax, tag, and title, to get this Q8. Gentleman who's helping us gives him the printout. He's saying he's going to pay this money for the car out of the savings account that's offshore. That's the story. That's what he's saying. So he apparently is asking the guy, is there a holding fee? Can I pay a holding fee to secure this car while I'm working to get the money transferred? Because obviously with COVID, it's going to take long for the banks to transfer the money. Side note, I need everyone to understand, one of the reasons why he was able to get away with the stuff he got away with is because we were on lockdown. It's crazy because it's now 2024, but I don't know, do we all remember how it seemed like a lot of stuff stopped in 2020? Now, keep in mind, that's not an excuse I'm making, because shit still got done. But in terms of business as usual just was not happening in 2020 at this time. So when he's saying, oh, it's going to take a while for the bank to transfer the money, the gentleman who was working at Audi did not even, he didn't make a face. He didn't blink. He was like, I know it's going to take a while because of COVID. So basically what ends up happening is we leave. He has the printout. He calls the bank, or he calls his financial advisor, who does have a name. The financial advisor's name is Eric. I feel comfortable using certain people's names, especially if we find out they didn't exist. So he calls Eric. He tells Eric in front of me, hey, I need to transfer $72,526, whatever the amount was, because I'm buying a car for my fiance. This is the bank account information. Do you need me to give it to you over the phone, or do you need me to email it to you? Pause. I can't hear what the person's saying, but that's what he would do. Do you need me to give it to you over the phone, or can I email it to you? Okay. All right, give me a few minutes and I'll go ahead and email it to you. All right, let me know. I'll call you back to find out if you received it.
Who emails their bank account information? Did I just hear that correctly? I'm too busy trying to pour me a drink. She said, he's saying on the phone, do you want me to email you the bank account information? Who wants their bank account information sent via email? Who did I hear that correctly? I have no empathy for her. I feel like she was an active participant. She absolutely was. Don't ask questions. Yes. And even if you can't, you can easily still, even if you can't hear what they're saying, a lot of times you can still hear, unless they have on a Bluetooth or something like that, you can hear when somebody's on the dang on phone. You heard that right, Chris. Thank you, Nisa. You done doubled up on me, sis. I appreciate you. Now, here's the thing, you guys. I was going to stop this at part 10, which we're on part 10 now, and I was going to let that ride out. Do you guys want to continue, or do you guys want to just kind of like do this? Like, what do you guys want to do? We can, like I said, I can do until 10, and then maybe tomorrow we can do 11 to 20. How do you guys want to play this out? Okay, because again, part of this is just being able to, talk to each other, clown and roll. So y'all let me know what you guys want to do. Yes, Nene, as far as I'm concerned, she just cut the middleman out and literally did yeah, that is true. That is true. We can do this in different parts. Okay, let me know if that's what you guys want to do. I'm going to let this continue to play out.
Okay, hang up. So I'm hearing this because, again, I'm not paying attention to, did I hear anybody on the other phone? Did I hear anybody on the other end? So he proceeds to type up an email, type up something, telling him this is the information that we need. I didn't think anything of it. He called me at work the next day to tell me that the money was sent to Audi, that he called Audi, and he confirmed with Audi that they received the money. What he told me is that the car is going to be delivered to the house. Y'all, now that I think about it, she may be actually a great cast member for Love After Lockup. She may be good. She may be good for Love After Lockup. They need to put her on a reality show. It's not that I lived in the hood, because I didn't, but I did not live in an area of Clayton County where you would have a brand new Audi delivered to your house. So I remember saying to him, I don't want that car delivered to the house, not yet, because I need to put that car in the garage. And my Nissan I only had a 1-car garage, so my Nissan was in the garage. So he said, okay, well, let me call them back and change the delivery date. Can you be home, or can you do a half day? So he's asking me, can you work a half day so that they can deliver the car and you will be home for it? I said, yes, that's fine. Because again, it's COVID. I'm working from home anyway. I only had to go in the office 2 days a week. So I'm at home the next day. He told me the car would be delivered between the hours of 1 and 3. Obviously, between 1 and 3, nothing happened. So 3 o'clock, I called him. He's at work. He sends me the voicemail. He calls me back. I said, it's 3 o'clock. I didn't, no one ever came with the car. What's going on? And then I remember I was like, well, do I need to call Audi myself? Because I thought that you handled it. But if you didn't handle it, do I need to call them? And so whenever I would suggest I will handle it, he would get very, very defensive. Red flag number 472. So he was like, no, I will call Audi. Don't do anything. I'll call Audi and find out what's going on. Okay. So I'm at home chilling, cooking dinner, normal night. He calls me back and says, yeah, the car was stuck on the truck in Spartanburg because apparently that's where their deliveries come from. So when he told me this, I was in the kitchen laughing because by this point, I will be honest, and I told y'all I'll be honest even when it makes me look bad. I was guilty of, on one hand, I believed him, and on the other hand, I was like, let me see what lie he come up with. Let me just see. But keep in mind, my brain was really like not rationalizing, not comprehending how deep the lie was. I just thought that no one told him the car was going to be delivered, and he made that up. I had no idea how deep the lie went. So he said, the car's in Spartanburg. It should be delivered this weekend. The weekend came, he had a whole other excuse. I don't remember what the exact excuse was as to why the car was never delivered. I do remember we got into an argument, and I was like, don't even worry about it. I'm going to get a new car my damn self. I don't even need your help. Which is probably one of the worst things you can tell a narcissist, because they love to be the hero, it's all about them. But I was like, don't even worry about it. I'll get when I have the money to get a car myself, I'll do it. I don't want to hear anything else about a new car. I don't want to hear shit else about a car. Because at this point, I was spending way too much time trying to figure out, are we getting a car? Are we getting a house? Like, what the fuck is going on? Always there was an excuse. So when I told him I don't want to hear anything else about a car, and I am not going to a dealership to test drive another car, that ended that whole discussion right there. So this is where I'm going to interject what I believe was happening. I believe that my ex-husband is the type of person, he gets off, nut. He gets off on you being excited about something that he knows you will never get.
And you get off on thinking you're about to get something that you will never get. So you get that same excitement. That's why he was able to con you, because you get that same excitement over something that you won't be able to get, whether it's with his money, allegedly, or even yours. All right? Yeah.
So I believe that he enjoyed going to car dealerships. He enjoyed watching me test drive a car and get excited about it, knowing I was not going to get it. It is the level of cruelty. And again, I'm telling y'all stuff that I found out way later on. It is the level of cruelty that I still cannot comprehend. So the whole issue about the BMW and the Audi, I think he just enjoyed seeing me get excited and then pull it away. Part 11 coming up.
All right, we're about to end it here, you guys, because we can go all night. So we kind of skimmed through 1 through 10 pretty much. So with that being said, you guys, we can either continue this tomorrow. We can do a whole weekend thing of it. We can do tomorrow, we can do Saturday evening, we can do Sunday evening. So yeah, child, but the sad part about it is there's so many Risa Tisas out there. It don't make no damn sense. But you know what I feel like is gonna happen? She's about to create a trend of stupidity. because we already know that ignorance sells. But these type of stories, if she's gonna make that type of money, you're gonna have a lot of people coming out with all types of freaking stories on TikTok at this point, trying to talk about they trap in the closet stories, he was a friend of mine type of stories. It's coming. It's coming. So brace yourselves at this point, because she's created a trend that pretty much you can play the damsel in distress and all of these red flags, and you can make money off of it on TikTok. So this is what we're gonna deal with at this point. This is what's gonna happen. So y'all brace yourselves. She done created a trend. I would love the trend to come back where there's common sense. That's what I would love. Level of cruelty. You knew he was lying. She gave too many outs versus straight up calling him out. Exactly. And was he really even paying the house bills? Maybe, but was it with his money? That's the thing. Maybe, because somebody was paying this. She didn't mention anything about an eviction notice or anything like that. So maybe he was, but was it his money? Girl, you didn't comprehend much. I am here for all of it. We can't make it for real. You can't. You can't. So many there's too many. There's too many. This is better than what's on TV right now. It sure the hell is. So you guys, we're gonna continue this. You guys want to go tomorrow night? We can definitely do tomorrow night. Let me see. I think I'm pretty much good this weekend to do evenings of this. Okay, evenings of this. I can definitely do that. We can do 11 to like 20 tomorrow and so on and so forth. Another woman came out with the tick. See, do you see what I'm talking about? It's already starting. Like, my gosh, get ready for my. Oh Lord, I just Teeth, what are you about to talk about? It's called The Lies He Told. She should get together. Oh Lord, don't give him no ideas, Kimmy. I dated him too. Get ready for my parakeet video. Thank you, Chris, for doing this. Love you to pieces. Love y'all back. I just figure it's good for us to just look at these together and just be able to vibe, because our lives, like, that be the highlight, that we can just have the dialogue and be able to enjoy ourselves. So we will continue this tomorrow. It's probably going to be a little bit earlier. I don't know, maybe like around 8:30, 9 o'clock East Coast time. It'll probably be around that time that we'll get started, because it's probably going to be at least an hour or more for every time, we watch this. And I will skim through it, because sometimes she just talked too damn much for me. But child, when I tell you. So with that being said, you guys, we're going to say, I will say a story like Reese's that's mainly dedicated to women hasn't been as popular all across the nation since Corinne Steffens' Who Prayed Confession. Yeah. And that's the problem. Because then what's going to happen is it's going to create a trend, just like with Corinne Steffens. Remember, after that, Nas' baby mama came out with a book, and everybody and their mama started coming out with books. So she's going to create a trend. Yes, thank you. Thank you, my brother / moderator. Thank you guys so much for coming. Even those, I guess, who was just trying to troll, I guess. We appreciate you also. Whether you like it or thumbs down, you gave the view. So I appreciate you regardless. Chris, I knew it was going to be far with you and the crew. Yeah, we definitely keep it live and crazy over here, just how I like it. I'm going to tell mine I have pictures and receipts to amp up. Yes, please like, share, and subscribe, you guys. We're going to continue this tomorrow, Saturday, and possibly Sunday. So, all right, you guys. So, exactly. So, we will continue this tomorrow. And it does take time for me to get this stuff, because I really have to like download the video and then be able to like show it. So then that way we can be able to review it. So we'll continue this tomorrow. So you guys have a wonderful evening, and I will see you tomorrow and see you on my next video. Toodles.